What's up, you guys? So in this video, I'm going to be breaking down how exactly Shelby Sapp has made a little bit over $6 million utilizing a simple funnel that anybody in the space can use. So if you're a coach, high ticket course seller, anybody that sells any sort of info product, and you're trying to scale past that like $100,000 per month mark, maybe you're doing a little bit under that and you're trying to get scale past that, watch this video towards the end because you're literally going to have everything that you need. I went ahead and did a whole funnel research on her, so you guys can just go ahead and copy and paste her funnel and apply it into your business. Okay, so without further ado, let's get into it. Now, just to give you guys some context, like I said, she's made a little bit over $6 million using this funnel, and it's a pretty simple funnel, but not a lot of people understand it, right? So there's three phases of this funnel specifically. Number one is going to be actually how she's gaining all the traffic. So where exactly all the traffic sources are coming from, how she's getting all the attention, everything like that. Second part is going to be like generating the specific ICP, so how she's actually generating all these specific leads for her actual offer. And then third one is going to be actually how she's converting all this attention into potential buyers for her offer, right? You'll notice that she has a couple of different traffic sources here. Her main traffic source that a lot of you guys have probably seen is her Instagram, right? That's kind of where she goes viral. You've seen a lot of her reels. And she's very smart about how she actually does this with her Instagram. So a lot of people might think that, she just posts on Instagram just to have fun. Maybe you think she just does it because she just likes the attention, but it's like she's generating multiple millions utilizing a very simple formula that literally anybody can use. So first thing you see is her ICP framing. So pretty much what she does is she has kind of like a girl boss persona that she kind of utilizes throughout all of her content. So you can see right here when you go to her Instagram, you see like her at She Sells Academy, right? She's showing she's an authority figure. She's showing her up on stage. You see her using a very specific set of frame within her kind of target audience, and she uses this kind of like very girly girl boss, like women empowerment type of vibe. She even kind of refers herself to the mom of high ticket sales. So again, people always feel like she's an authority figure in the space because she positions herself as an expert, right? And that's kind of what she does through her content. Even just with her Instagram posts, she always kind of pushes out that persona, right? Next thing is going to be her short form content strategy. So on both social media, she has a little bit over 700K on IG and then a little bit over 483K on TikTok. And pretty much what she's going to be doing from these two channels is she also has a little bit over 6K on YouTube, which I think she could honestly post a little bit more, but she's starting to do a little bit more of that, which I will say is good, right? Now with her Instagram, all of this content is pretty much just, value and actually handling objections and using these as lead magnets, right? So the first video she actually has pinned here is pretty much just a video going over her story, which if you know anything about these type of videos, it's literally just a VSL, a video sales letter, just to go ahead and explain who she is, explain what she does, explain her story. So anybody that hits her new page, whether these are new people that have never seen her before, they can automatically go to her page, get sold on her as a person, and then get to go ahead and binge watch her content, right? And the biggest thing when it actually comes to creating short form content is you want to make your content bingeable. If your content is very like, long paced, it's not digestible, people can't just go through it, they're not going to get hooked on you. Okay, and that's what you want to make sure that you can do from your short form content, is because people can actually get hooked on your short form content. Then from there, they're going to go to your long form content, and that's how you actually nurture them with a long term, funnel, a long term YouTube videos, whatever you're going to do. Okay, so these videos are just, handling objections, again, giving value, just a lead magnet, 6 sales objections in 60 seconds. Sell me this pen, again, a very good lead magnet. She just use it as value, give them value. Then from there, she has a back end offer. She'll typically just promote her actual funnel that she's selling. Again, here, curating her ICP, living like a stay-at-home mom, but with the wallets of a mafia dad, literally just going ahead and showing how she makes money, selling kind of like that dream. Right here, lifestyle marketing. I wish I could lose fat and close deals while traveling the world. Again, just kind of showing this like lifestyle persona of being able to travel, make money, because she understands who her target audience is very well. Never say these two things in sales, lead magnet, same exact thing here, lead magnet, right? All of these are literally just lead magnets and providing value. And then Instagram is, it's pretty much the same exact thing. Just, lead magnets. We got VSL, 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 lead magnet, same exact thing, right? And all this content that she's actually getting from her Instagram and her TikTok, she's going ahead and actually now trying to promote this to her long form content. And I honestly think if she would have did this earlier, she probably would have made a lot more money. But I think she kind of realized the importance of, like her losing out on this much money when it comes to her short form content or her long form content. And now she's just using this to kind of nurture her audience and break limiting beliefs. So her first video that she ever posted was "You Deserve to Live Your Dream Life." And you can see from these two videos alone, they're both very long videos. And the reason they're both long is because she knows that if she can have her audience spend more time with her, they're going to trust you more, right? Nobody's going to go ahead and buy your $3,000, $5,000 program, whatever it is, by just watching 5 minutes of your content, right? For someone to actually go ahead and get to that decision, they need to watch hours and hours and hours of your content for them to fully be nurtured. I think there's actually study. If I can find it, I can go ahead and put it up, but it takes a certain amount of time for someone to actually trust you enough to go ahead and pay for your stuff, right? So the easiest way to do that is by just having long content that they can just digest and want to go, and it gives them more time to be nurtured, which is exactly what she's trying to do with this long form. Right from here, she goes ahead and actually push all these leads to her actual offer. She also runs a little bit of paid ads. So she, like I said, she runs a webinar funnel, which is pretty much just a free class funnel. She has a presentation from there, kind of uses a longer format for a VSO, and then she has her back end offer, which is typically like a book call funnel that she runs at the back end. Right, so pretty much paid ads that she runs every single time. Not all the time, but a lot of times she does her webinars. And these are also some ways that she runs. Typically, these are just retargeting ads to her audience. And these are already people that see her content. She just pushes it in their face a little bit more, right? So that's what she's doing for her actual audience. Now, next part is going to be actually generating her specific ICP. And I'd probably say this is the most important part when it comes to actually generating an audience that's going to be able to go ahead and convert into buyers later. If you don't have an understanding of your ICP, which a lot of coaches that I know personally and I've worked with have not had an understanding of their ICP, and that's the biggest reason why they actually fail and they stay at where they're at, right? Because if you don't know who exactly your audience is, if you don't know what their struggles are, how do you expect to actually have an offer that curates with them enough to where they actually feel that this offers for them to make them actually want to buy your stuff? It's just not going to happen. Okay, so what she actually does is she has a specific list of who exactly her ICP is. Now, these are examples of like who exactly her ICP could be and some people that are in her audience. Number one, Jess, the college dropout. She's 21, recently started community college, feels pain points, she feels ashamed, confused about what to do next, financially dependent on her parents, right? There's a lot of people that she kind of targets in her audience just because these are people that she once was. Next part is going to be Bree, the barista dreamer. She's 23, works at Starbucks, exhausted by long shifts, wants to make more money. Alani, the single mom, 26, raising a 3-year-old daughter alone. She needs more income. She's trying to work. She doesn't have time to work for a 9 to 5, and she feels under supported and not kind of just supported, right? Tiana, the beauty school grad, she's 24, part-time lash tech, struggles to find steady clients and wants a higher income and better structure. And then Marisa, the TikTok addict, she's 20, obsessed with her influencer culture, and then feels stuck with a boring job and envious of the girls who get to work from home and have no clear skills, right? These are all examples of people who are actually in her target audience, the people that she can actually target. So as you can see from here, most of them are going to be from the age like 20 to 25. There are going to be older people as well. But again, she's very specific with who she targets, right? All of these are women. She only sells to women. And the reason she makes all of her content to women is because she knows instead of actually competing in a market for her sales, she doesn't want to go ahead and compete in just the sales market alone because she knows that market is going to be very broad. It's going to be very competitive for her to go ahead and get a competitive edge when there's all these different people that she's going ahead and trying to compete against. And the only way to go ahead and be better than them is by sell directly on value. So she was like, okay, I'm not going to do that. Instead of me actually just selling on the value that I have for sales, I want to sell people on a ideation and a culture. And that's what she did. So she ended up making her audience tailored to specifically women, right? She has a very great story. She's been in sales. She worked as a, woman who was doing a lot of door-to-door sales. And from there, she ended up being like one of the managers at her company. She ran a big sales team for a lot of women. And she just understands exactly how to go ahead and actually lead people. And you can see that from her content. She's very, upfront. She's very, how would I say this? Kind of just like out there. And she pushes that towards the audience. And you can see why people are actually drawn to her. Right. So again, she understands her audience very well. She doesn't try to sell her offer different people. She just focuses on one target market instead, which is honestly what I think you should do if you're trying to sell a high ticket offer. It's the best way to go about it. Next thing is she feels a very huge gap in the market, right? So you can literally just see from content from people that are inside of her actual comment section. People are saying, "Oh my God, this is so good. I love the recap. I love you so much." Right? Mini sales masterclass is just a very big gap in the market. Nobody in the space before her coming out was this prominent and was this kind of role model that specifically in the sales space for women was pretty much out there before she kind of came along with her content. So this is why she just took massive market share in the market, and she ended up blowing up to have one of the biggest personal brands that you guys have probably seen when it comes to just like her niche and her target audience, right? So she has a very tight knit kind of circle of community people. These women will literally die for her. They love her so much because of just what she's done in the community she's built. So yeah, you can literally just see the big gap in the market of what she did, and she capitalized on it correctly because she know exactly who exactly her audience is, and she focused on making her content towards that. Right now, the next part is actually going to be how she actually converts people into her buyers, and she does this with a very simple process. So like I said, every single week, what she does, she runs a webinar funnel. She's been testing this a little bit. They recently started running a VSL funnel, but I think they realized that their webinar is probably going to be their best bet. And pretty much what she does every single week, she runs a webinar free class funnel, how to get into high ticket sales, register for the VIP. You come here, give a little bit of value stack, right? They kind of qualify the leads a little bit, tell them who this is for, who this is not for. Pretty much a simple way to qualify leads on an offer, right? You would do this in a VSL as well. And then from here, they have an opt-in page. So what they go ahead and do is they collect your email, phone number, and name. So let's say if you don't go ahead and book a call, or you don't go ahead and actually sign up for the webinar, they still have your email. So they're going to be able to retarget you with SMS sequences, retarget you with email sequences, and pretty much just any other way they can contact you. And those are a lot of times what will happen, because sometimes people just want to go ahead and put their information on just to see what's on the next page. But since they have this information now, they can go ahead and retarget you and actually market to you again on different social media platforms for pretty much the rest of their life until you opt out, right? So that's pretty much what an opt-in page is going to be there for. And then after that, right, what's going to go ahead and happen is you're going to be sent over to the thank you page, which pretty much this page here is just for framing, kind of just to let them know what exactly they're opting in for. Set the expectation a little bit and kind of just warm them up a little bit. And then also make sure they actually go to their email, they check their spam, and they also get all of that so they can actually get on their email list, right? Because if you don't, let's say you're running the same exact funnel, or you're running anything similar that has an email sequence, you want to make sure that leads actually go ahead and go to your email and they check it, because a lot of times what happens is that emails can get marked as spam. So what she tells them is go check your inbox and make sure that it's not in your spam so you can actually join the class, right? So it's pretty much what you want to do. And we personally look for our clients to make sure that, you know, nothing gets ended in spam. After that, they're going to go ahead and get sent over an email sequence, pretty much just an email sequence nurturing them up versus their confirmation email, right? You can see I opted in. Hi, Joel. Thanks for registering for Free Sales Academy. You can find out more information here. From here, they just give them a little bit more update, right? So so they have a 12 email sequence starting at 12 hours. Then from there, right, they get sent over another email an hour before. And then they also get SMS reminders, reminder 1, reminder 2, reminder 3, reminder 4, reminder 5. So they get 6 reminders in total that pretty much just make sure that they actually show up to the class so they can actually get the value that they're looking for. All right. So this is just kind of their way of making sure that everybody shows up and they get the highest show up rate possible. So then after that, they get sent over to the actual webinar long form VSO, which is pretty much just a long form VSO. Webinars work really good when you have an audience that kind of is in that more curious phase. They don't really know exactly what you do, because it gives them time to learn and be very, very nurtured over you. Typically want to run a webinar for around 60 minutes, an hour 30 minutes. That's honestly the best time I've seen to personally go ahead and actually warm up these leads. And the whole point of a webinar is literally just to go ahead and break limiting beliefs that your audience has, right? Tell the leads why exactly your unique selling mechanism is better than other alternatives. So for example, she talks about why sales is the better than, you know, drop shipping, or sales is better than any other business model that they can start, because they can work from home, they can build a skill set, they don't have to rely on inventory, all these different type of stuff, right? And what you want to do is you want to be able to tweak that with your offer as well. So if you're selling a trading offer, you want to tell people why trading is better than sales, or why it's better than drop shipping. If you run drop shipping offer, you want to tell them why drop shipping is better than trading, or it's better than TikTok shop, right? Same exact thing. You just want to kind of tweak it to your audience. From there, they nurture the leads on her story. She kind of has relatability. She tells them exactly where she came from, how she kind of got here, and kind of make them feel like she trusts them. And then after that, she pretty much just pre-handles any limiting beliefs that her audience may have on her offer. So like, is this going to be reliable? Can I make money from this every single month? Is it good to find a job, right? Literally just anything her audience may be thinking. The whole point of this class is to break that limiting belief and make them actually trust that this is going to get to where they want to be at, so they can actually buy the offer, right? After this class is pretty much done, once she's gonna head and done, she transitions over to the actual pitch and the CTA, which is pretty much just gonna be the book call form that she actually runs. They go here, they click the button, they fill out the form, they go ahead and actually get to choose a time with the closer, and then from there, it's a very simple process. She's gonna have a sales team on the back end to close the deal, and then they pretty much just go send over to the Calendly page. They have a couple of different qualifying questions, kind of just making sure the leads are actually qualified. Ask them what they currently do for work, how old are they, what is their biggest motivation, do they have any sales experience prior? And then, of course, they're also going to go ahead and financially qualify them. And they let them know the group has a minimum of $5K to invest, right? What you always want to do is you want to financially qualify your leads, because if you don't do that, you're going to have leads that show up on the calendar that aren't ready to pay, and it's just going to waste your time. Okay, so that's pretty much what she does. And that's pretty much the exact funnel that she runs, and that's how she's actually making over $6 million using the same exact funnel that you can go ahead and copy, right? So now, like I said, you can literally just go ahead and use these systems and implement it into your business. If you have any sort of coaching business and you have traffic, this is a very good funnel to run, because you can go ahead and, like I said, nurture these leads, give them time to trust you, and then kind of just build up, you know, that want and need for your offer over time with these leads, especially if they're more new. So if this is something that you're going to go ahead and try to implement in your business, like I said, I pretty much help coaches implement these same exact funnels and systems directly into the business. So what I go ahead and prompt you to do is go ahead and book a call with me directly in the link in the description. This isn't going to be a salesy chat. It's literally just going to be a convo. Talk about what your business does, see if I can help you out. If I can, all good. If not, I'll send you over some resources and try to get you in the right direction. All right. But other than that, I hope this video helped you guys out. If you guys have any other ideas, let me know what you guys want me to do. Review, I'll do that for you. But other than that, I'll see you guys in the next video, and peace out.